Hey everybody, this is Herschel Fruin from High School Top 200. This is a preview of our number one team in the country, Hastings Boys, and they're going to be playing Tauranga Boys. And they're going to be playing in Hastings as well. Now, I think it's quite obvious who's going to win. I mean, I think at the stage in the year and at this stage in the tournament or in the competition that Hastings Boys aren't really going to be challenged. August 5th or 5th, when they play Hamilton Boys up here in Hamilton, I think that's probably going to be the only one that that is really going to be a challenge for them, and I think it's because for one, Hamilton have the players, they have a system, they have a culture and tradition of winning, and they know how to win. The boys are brought through the system, Hamilton Boys system, being successful pretty much at every single level that they're at, so they know what it takes to win and the sacrifices that they have to give up. Hastings Boys have also adapted to that way of thinking, adapted to that way of switching their attitude to the point where walking off the field when you lose is, okay, we'll just look to next week. Hamilton Boys, when they lose, I think that they take it really hard, and they take it really hard on themselves because they work so hard, and then after they get over that feeling of this really sucks, then they reevaluate themselves and then get back on it again. Instead of that attitude of, well, we don't care, we you know, if we lost, we lost. Like, they don't take it like that. They take losses really hard. They ponder on that feeling a bit, and then they get ready for the next week. Hastings Boys have actually they have adopted that kind of attitude as well, and you can tell that they've adapted that because not just because they're winning, but the way in which they're winning, the margins in which they are winning. They don't disrespect their opponents and competition. They work really hard every single week to be prepared, and that's kind of where I admire the way that Hastings Boys is, because they know that they're going to win, but they prepare hard every single week. They're not so arrogant to the point where, like, we don't need to train that hard. They give every opponent that they have the respect, that they work out really hard, and they work hard throughout the week to get prepared. And they're going to be doing that as well against Tauranga Boys. And they're going to show them the same respect that they have every other team. I think Hastings Boys is going to be too quick in the forwards as we would start. They're going to be too quick in the forwards. And Tauranga Boys actually have a pretty mobile pack as well. They have some... I mean, obviously Flynn, Kelly, Gordy as well. Kingston is there, and he's been playing pretty good too. And then they have like guys like Murphy and Peter up front, where they do take the bulk of the physicality and the toughness. They sort of absorb that from the other teams and things like that. And so I think size-wise, they can match up. I don't think skill-wise they match up well. Structure-wise, they're probably a bit too slow on defense to really cover everybody on the field. I think when you have to play Hastings Boys, you have to play extra organized. You have to be able to tackle one-on-one and not rely on the next person. And Hastings Boys tackle really well. They tend to do one-up man tackles, and then the next two guys are there to commit to turnovers, and they commit to driving over and disrupting the flow of your ball and things like that. And so Tauranga Boys are going to have to really work hard in the forward pack and make sure that they slow them down as much as possible. I think you can't let that ball fly out too fast, and you can't let guys like Devin and Donovan and Jariah and that, and then even like Keanu and Josiah up front as well. Like, you can't let those guys beat your first tackles and beat the first man up, putting a shoulder on. You can't let them do that kind of stuff, because then it just the Hastings pack just fall into line, and then all of a sudden they have about 4 or 5 guys supporting around that one guy, getting offloads and things like that, and that ball is cleared out so fast because Folau is just too quick. Leroy and Folau is probably going to be a pretty good matchup as well. I think Folau is the best halfback in the country. Leroy, I don't think is that far behind him. And I think Leroy's a lot better than a lot of people think he is. He is also real fast, real skillful guy, and he plays with a lot of passion too. And that's got to be a pretty good matchup. Obviously, Lincoln, the best first 5 in the country, is also going to be a hard one to slow down. His organising skills just on another level, and because he's got a fit forward pack that moves, and they know exactly what their roles are, it's easier for a guy to organise that. There's not too much directions. There's not too much. He just places everyone right. Daddy Toala is another one. Like, you can't. And I kind of feel sorry for teams when they come up against Hastings, because there's just too many guys on the field. They really are the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors. They, you lock down 3 guys, and there's 2 other guys that you just let open, and they can all run, and they can all, fend and tackle, break tackles, things like that. I mean, like, look at Denon. You got Denon Robinson out there, as well as Kinney and Danny at the back. And it's just like, okay, you shut down 2, but then the other one's going to run amok, and then all of a sudden you're 2 tries behind, within the first 15 minutes. And it's going to be a game like that. The back line is going to be hard for Tauranga to keep up with. It's going to be just relentless tackling and cover tackling, and trying to organise an unorganised back line once Hastings pick up on broken play and things like that. And so they're really going to have to try hard to get it going, and to actually put up a good front, and then play the full 70 minutes at the same pace as what Hastings is playing. We've already seen Hamilton boys do a number on Tauranga boys by, what was it, like 37 points or something like that. And so, and I think Hastings is actually 12 points better than what Hamilton is. And so I think the score is going to be 57-10. 57-10 sounds right. It's going to be a hard game. I don't know what the weather is like down there, but if it's actually, it really doesn't matter, because Hastings is just so fit. So even if it does rain and it becomes muddy, they're just going to be fast guys running in the mud. That's kind of how it is with Hastings boys. Yeah, 57-10 sounds right to me. Somewhere around then. That's my review. Go down and support the boys. Akina. Support the boys from Tauranga. If you can make the trip down. That's my review. Peace.